Beloved companies make 5 decisions that mark their place in the universe with customers. They decide to believe. By trusting customers, they get rid of the extra rules, regulations, policy, and bureaucracy that create a wedge between ourselves and our customers and get in the way of a relationship. They decide with clarity of purpose. They work really hard and angst over what their higher purpose is in supporting and serving their customers' life. When they intersect their customer's day, they know what their job is, and that brings the organization together. They decide to be real and genuine. Now that means trying to drop the corporate bureaucracy, but also creating a place where people are enabled and allowed to bring the best version of themselves to work every day. Beloved companies decide to be there. You know, it's an everyday struggle, pushing that rock up the hill, to be there on customers' terms. The beloved companies start with the customer, not the product. And they decide to say sorry. There's no doubt that in any one of our businesses, there's going to come a time when we disappoint customers. How you right the wrong, take accountability, and show humility throughout that process, that experience, shows the true colors of your organization than almost any other situation they might encounter. Are your decisions inside of your organization guided by the belief that your customers are an asset, not a cost center? You go into Zane Cycles in Connecticut and you take this bike out for a test drive. You say, "Can I take the bike out?" And they say, "You bet. Have a great ride." Zane's does not ask for your collateral. They don't ask for your driver's license. They don't ask for your firstborn or anything. They say, "Have a great ride." Now, what's interesting is, by deciding to believe their customers, they also create this indelible mark on the culture of their employees. New employees coming into Zane's constantly say, to Chris Zane, "Why in the world would we do this?" Well, what Chris knows at Zane Cycles is every customer whose relationship they punctuate and deliver on in the right way is equal $12,500 over their lifetime. So why would you threaten that long-term, valuable relationship by punctuating it by questioning someone's integrity? By believing that employees can and will think on their feet, management oversight, reviewing every action, and the diminishing ability of someone to be proud of their job is replaced with innovation, energy, and a desire to stick around. Beloved companies have something that binds the organization together and moves them from executing tasks to delivering on an experience that customers would want to repeat again. So the question is, if I walked around your organizations and asked 10 people, what's our higher purpose for customers? How many answers would I get? So let's say you're a cup manufacturer. You make children's cups. The everyday company would have their manufacturing, their product development people get together and put together, let's say, 3 cups. And they say to the moms, "Hey, pick a cup." And the mom picks what's available. But they didn't start with the mom. You know, all of us who are parents know that the difference between a great meal and a bad meal is water on the floor or milk on the table and the crying kid and all the other hysterics. Maybe one of the moms needed a cup with a little indentation in it or a straw. The everyday company is selling cups. The beloved company is supporting parenthood. And the difference between knowing that you're supporting parenthood or selling cups means a completely different product development cycle. Let's not talk about customers as accounts. Let's talk about who they are as people. Let's talk about how we enrich their life. If I had a cup and I had it against the wall and I was listening to a meeting in your business, is that what you'd want other people to put up on the internet about your company? There's a merchant I know in a small Midwestern town who sold children's shoes. He gently steered young moms to the first pair of shoes that she bought for her children. And sometimes these moms would open up their pocketbook and they wouldn't have enough money in their purse. And the merchant said, "You know, get those shoes on your little one's feet, Bring back the rest when you're in town. Well, he shooed a generation of children and their children's children. And the quiet guiding hand of that man made an indelible mark in all of these families, so much so that when he retired, a line of people 3 blocks long circled around to walk in and just shake his hand and say goodbye, that buying children's shoes would never be the same. People, not accounts. Support the person. Know their day. Talk about them as a name. When your account managers or your service providers change, do your customers feel like they have to push the restart button? That their information is lost, that their preferences are lost, that who they are is lost, that sometimes even what they ordered was lost. And what does that say in terms of honoring your customers? What does that say in terms of reliability? Edward Jones has a process, they're a financial advisor company, has a process where when they bring in a new advisor, they actually shadow a senior advisor for a year. And then they've changed their reward and recognition and compensation that the senior advisor actually hands over some of their cases to this young advisor who they're serving and supporting all throughout the year. So that when the handoff happens, the relationship is in place.
If your customer can't say in their own words what they get from you because you consistently give an experience that's repeatable and definable, then there is no story to tell. There is no recommendation to make. It's very difficult for a customer to say, go there because here's what you get.
How you apologize really is your humanity litmus test. Does anybody here have brothers or sisters? I have 6. Catholic Italian from Chicago. So remember when you were growing up and your brother or sister punched you or pinched you? Who can relate? What did your mom or dad do? They took that kid by the shoulder and stood that kid in front of you and they said to your brother or sister, tell your sister you're sorry. And what did you hear back? Sorry. But you knew you were going to be punched again another day. That's what it feels like sometimes when we get these hollow apology letters that aren't followed up with operational processes and really repairing the emotional connection.
Grace and wisdom guide the beloved companies when the chips are down, not accusations and skirting accountability.
Companies that get a disproportionate piece of the pie in the marketplace do so because they're not always looking over their shoulder at what each decision will get them. With every life you intersect, make a choice. Decide about who you are and about what you value. The decision is yours.